Today's episode is sponsored by Aeroflow Urology. Is your child experiencing delayed potty training or in need of incontinence supplies? The cost can add up fast, but we've partnered with Aeroflow Urology to help. They provide medical grade supplies like briefs and pull ups for kids 3 years old or older, delivered discreetly to your door, all through insurance at no cost. Many families save up to $200 a month. It only takes 2 minutes to check eligibility, so visit aeroflowurology.com/channingsjoy to get started today.
Back. Been a long time.
It shows, considering it took us an hour to get our setup going for this
It did.
struggle.
And we still don't know what we did wrong, but we finally figured out we could hear each other and we could,
Well,
just
you
move
had to
on.
buy a new mic. I had to buy a new headphone cord because Boo chewed mine. And now I'm not even using the headphones.
Yeah.
And your mic wasn't working.
So I don't even know what we're doing. I hope this turns out okay, but we're going to let her rip because we missed y'all way too much. We missed like talking about everything. And Lauren and I were chatting earlier, like, okay, where did we leave off? And it was, I think the last episode was in February of this year.
So bad. The important thing is we did not give up.
No.
We could have easily given up on this, but we are still trying.
Because we truly like love it. You know? Like I was going to say, we don't love the technicality of it.
Not at all.
Not at
We
all.
need a producer, but
We need a producer.
nobody would want to do that.
No. And honestly, I love how flexible we are with each other, which is why it's taken a year. But it's
Yeah.
like life was just
Lifing.
throwing curveballs.
Lots of them.
I
Yeah.
remember, I think it was after the last episode, you were starting to like plan for the walk. And I think we were like, just trying to get with each other each week after that. And we're like, you know what? Let's just wait till after the walk. And then something else happened.
Wait till after the summer. And then wait till after the start of school.
I know what happened. I know what happened. Okay, so then after that, Rob's previous ABA center was like, surprise, he's aging out. And his BCBA and his team are like moving to another location. And so I had to like beg for them to have Rob move with his old BCBA to the new location while I get my ducks in a row about what he was going to do after that. They gave me until end of July that Rob could stay. I mean, I'm like, I have so many feelings about that.
It was like a 3-week kind of thing. I feel like it was really fast.
It was so fast. And this whole last year, like after that, this whole last year, I feel like I don't even know. I've been struggling.
Just living in a fog, just trying to see our way out. Especially you've had a lot thrown at you, but hey, you're still standing.
You've had a lot too, though. I mean, like London started school, and that was a big transition for her with a lot of, challenging times, but things are looking up and looking good. And I think that's how I feel now too with Rob. I think this is why we're like, oh, let's do the podcast, because we're not going to break down and cry on it.
We've had a steady week. So let's do the podcast really fast, because right now we're not going to lose it, but we could lose it at any moment.
Any moment.
Ugh. Oh. Yeah, we had to enlist help for London and the start of school and that transition. That was a lot for her. She started kindergarten and at her own school, separate from Channing, which is per her request. That's what she wanted, but we were so close to pulling her and sending her to chaining school when she was having so much separation anxiety and then some other things happening. It was just like, what is happening to my child, and how are we ever going to get through this? Like, I couldn't see a light at the end of that tunnel for a while.
And
But
we're
we
big on
enlisted.
lights at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, I need to be able to see a way out, and there was just it felt like it was getting darker. You know, like, normally you're supposed to be moving towards the light. It felt like the light was, like, dimming on me, and I was just going down, and,
Melting.
yes. I mean, because at one point, Chad was like, "I think that you need to get on a higher dose of medication." And then that sent me spiraling because I'm like, "Who says that? You don't say that." But I mean, I know he was just trying to help, and he could sense like everything happening. And then Channing, I'm sitting here feeling so guilty because I'm spending so much time on London, and then we're adding in for her a child psychologist, like a counselor, and we already have all this outside therapy happening with Channing, and then we're adding on this for London. And then the guilt of, am I giving him enough so he knows that? And then Lainey, I mean, I didn't even mention the third one.
Can I just say though, like, Lady is so resilient. She is just there for the ride, and she's happy to be there.
Yeah, and thank God she is, because she is just like a little, like, cherry on top. But man, there was just a lot going on. But I will say that enlisting the help of the child psychologist, we call her a counselor because I mean, I feel like that's such a big word to, like, say to London, child psychologist. It sounds so fancy and scary to a child, but it really helped, and it's helping me more than it's helping London, I feel like, because she's giving me so many tools, because she's able to remove herself from the situation and look at it as a bird's eye view, rather than like when you're in it and you're just feel like you're drowning and you feel like, I've tried that, I've tried this, that's not going to work. But then they give you this other perspective, and I'm just very thankful for those professionals out there that are able to help.
Do you think that because of being in this world of autism and knowing how much therapy can help and has helped, it helped, it was like that much easier for you to just enlist the help of that person?
Absolutely. I feel like, had I not already had Channing, I wouldn't have thought about a counselor. I wouldn't have thought, like, there's got to be assistance out there. There has to be intervention. But I never would have thought about it. But with Channing, and knowing what I know and how much, those professionals can help, yeah, I'm so thankful. And that's just another way that I feel like God was setting up, our path all along, because I needed that. And would I have given that help to London as quickly as I did? Probably not. It would have taken more time and more heartache and tears from both of us.
And you
Ugh.
think it's more we're raised that it's more discipline, more, stand firm, and it's not. It's so, and I feel like people forget, like, discipline is like teaching lessons, right? So how can you teach a lesson when you don't know how to discipline in this scenario? And it's not even really about discipline. It's about figuring out
Just the
what
why,
London,
the
yeah,
how.
what London was
Yes,
thinking, feeling. And it's almost like, okay, you got the discipline from this psychologist. She taught you how to, like, approach the situation. I don't know. I've been so, like, humbled by this life. I'm like, I know nothing. I'm ready to learn anything. Like, it's so funny. Like, John and I raised Henry, who, if you're new listening, is neurotypical. London's neurotypical, if y'all are new. And for the first 7 years, and then I got pregnant with Rob, and I'm like, oh, we've got this, blah, blah, blah. No, I've been so humbled, and anyway, just always open to doing things differently that it's going to better support Rob. And just like you did with London, it's like we think we know, and it's like, no, every child is different. So, but I'm so proud of her. She's doing so well now in school, and I just feel like so confident.
Yes, much more confident. One of the techniques that the counselor gave us was a brave cape, and I thought, like, telling her about a brave cape, that she would be like, "That's not real. I don't have a brave cape," like, because she is so much smarter than like your average 5-year-old. I hate to say that, but
Well,
I
no,
feel like
she's very, very, like, I think she has like an old soul, very witty,
yes,
very
she's
clever,
wise
and
beyond her years.
she can sniff out the bullshit.
Yes,
She
yes.
really can.
She totally can. I mean, there's been a lot of questions about the elf already, like she's like she's in it. But when the psychologist like brought up the brave cape, she was, talking about how it's like feeling like your mom, like wrapping her arms around you, and that's your cape, and that's how we're going to walk into school, and anytime we're feeling sad, we're going to have our brave cape. And then a funny story, so she was really eating up the brave cape, and she loves it, and we still do the brave cape. But a funny story was, I went to her school to have lunch with her, and because she had a full week of going with no tears, so I'm like, okay, let's reward this. I'm gonna go. I go eat with her. After we're eating, she just starts bawling, crying, losing it. All of her little classmates are like, "It's okay," and she's like, "Oh, don't leave." And I was like, "Honey, let's talk about our brave cape. Let's get our brave cape out." And she was like, "I left it at home." Like, oh Lord. I was like, "You would, London. Like, you." And she's
Yeah.
like, I can't get it here. I left it at home. It's upstairs." And I'm like,
Let's go get it together back home.
yes. And that's exactly what she's thinking. She's like, "Let's just leave. Let's go get it. We'll bring it back and it'll be fine." So then I had to, of course, tell our counselor. I was like, "Well, we had a problem. We left the cape at home." And she was like, "Okay, so let's figure out a way that like the cape can come to us no matter what." But it's just so funny. And that's just, our kids always throwing us those curveballs and making us pivot and change, whether they are neurotypical or neurodivergent. They're it's something else, but
She's always on our toes. Ooh, Lord.
always. So
I know.
do you want to tell us about anything with Robbie? That I know most of your updates, but do you want to update?
Yeah, and what I really want to like talk about is how it's made me feel, because I feel like a lot of us here in this world of autism parenting think that we have to go through hard times to like get to a place of like acceptance, and that's it, like the world will open up for us, we found the right people, it's just going to go on the up from here. But a lot of times when you have a severely autistic child who needs that constant like one-on-one and behavior support, especially as they get older, I've quickly learned that the weather is how I approach the scenario, is always changing. The temperature's going up and down, and people are in and out of your life. You think you found a good place and you don't, and it doesn't end up being the right place. You think that you've got your mental health in check, and then I'm like on Team Chad, I gotta up my medication because the anxiety's getting worse. And
I feel like I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like you just never know when something is going to change. It's
yes.
never just good. Like we're good forever. Nope.
Yeah. And I was talking to our friend Danielle, who she has a neurotypical daughter who's Henry's age. And then the same time that she had her twins, Nick and Noah, who are autistic, I had Rob too. So that's 7 years apart. And she and I were just talking about how like you just can never like settle, and you when Henry and Michaela were like growing up and going into school, we didn't really know the teachers' names. We weren't really like they would tell us about our day. If something happened, our kids would tell. We weren't involved. We weren't advocating. It wasn't like that. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It was just like smooth, easy sailing. We'll go to this school, we'll go to that school. It was like life felt planned. Life felt like it was just moving accordingly. And now it's like a whiplash, and it really, for me, messes with me because I feel like I lived a past life, you know? Like, and I grapple with that. I'm like, I was a completely different person. I lived a completely different life. And now Henry and I parented for as long as with just Henry, as old as Rob is now. So it's like I've had two different parenting experiences, but this one has made me a better person, but it's also made me a lot more anxious of a person, worried, just constantly. I don't know. And so
It
this year,
hardens you too, in a way, you know?
yes. And this
Trust
year
no
was
one.
trust no one. Trust no one. And that's why this year I've just really been struggling because I felt like there's just been so many changes with Rob, and like, you know, as kids do grow and change, but as, you know, we were at the clinic we loved with his people he loved for so long. And then boom, he's aging out and his BCBA is leaving. Begging, you know, I have to beg to go with her. We get there, but I know that he's can only be there for 3 months. So like for that next 3 months, I'm struggling, thinking I found a school that's going to be good for him. We start school. I'm literally holding my breath every day, and it's not the right place for him. And that is when I hit my breaking point. And I don't know, have you ever seen me cry that hard when I was
No.
on the
No, but have you ever heard me cry that hard as when I called you? Because I sent you a couple voice memos sometimes when I was in the same. I mean, we've definitely been in some trenches.
I lost it, and it was dark, and I was just sad. I was so sad. But as God does, even when I'm like, okay, whatever, God, I see it after the fact. Put these wonderful people in our path. And no, so now Rob has started at a new ABA center that's literally like a mile from the shop. Wonderful neuroaffirming BCBA. One of the RBTs, two of the RBTs were his old RBTs. The owners are just salt of the earth, great people who want to do good things in the community. And I feel like this week I woke up this Monday and I like excited, not like excited, like, you know, Disneyland, but just like a baseline feel good. And for me, that's exciting.
Well, you found a sense of temporary peace. And I have to say temporary because I feel the exact same way. Channing is in a wonderful school, but I always say, you know, we're hopeful that it continues the way it's going for him. So the same thing with Rob, you know, like you've woken up and you have a temporary sense of peace. And I hate to say temporary. I wish I could say you have a sense of peace, but we always wonder how long will it last.
I know.
And that is so negative of me to say, but you know what I mean? Like it's
Set you up to not be like disappointed. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like we always constantly have to be ready. Like, and that's why I always have a plan B. And
Yes.
I didn't this time. And that's what scared me, is because I'm like, okay, I can't go back to his old ABA center because he's aged out. I don't trust anyone. And I do think that there are practices not doing it right and people not in the right positions. And so I just felt like I was going to have to start searching, and they're going to be like, how old is he? Oh, sorry, you can't, because everyone is so focused on early intervention, and they're forgetting about these kids who need continued behavior support. And it's not about, stopping them from happily stimming or doing things like that. It's truly like to help them not hurt themselves or others. And we need people who know what they're doing to be with our kids. Um, and
And
so,
every bit of the time that you're spending looking for this, you have halted his routine. So therefore, he is dysregulated and upset. And then
yes,
that's also on you. So it's
yes,
a lot. I get it, because
yeah,
it's our life, and it is hard, and it's not for the faint of heart.
no, it's not. I want to talk about too, like a big update is medication for Rob. But can you, like, I know you talked about Channing's medication. Can you talk about again, like what he's on, and how that's been working?
Yeah, because we've kind of updated it too since we did that podcast a few months ago about medication, which he is currently still on the guanfacine. We do guanfacine 1 milligram in the morning. And then he does that for school. So it helps him be able to focus. And by, the afternoon, we can see it wearing off, but he's also about to come home. So once he gets home, he's like a little ping pong ball. Once he gets home, he's shower and outside and front yard and backyard and trough and pool and shower and like all over the place. But that's okay, because the guanfacine helps him to get to that point. And then at night now, which is an addition, we are doing the clonidine at night, and it is helping with sleep, but I got to knock on like everything, because I wouldn't say it's a fix all with sleep. Like there's still, it's still hit or miss, but it is helping. I feel like keep him asleep longer than anything else that we've tried.
Do you
But
do
we
the patch?
originally had, so we're not doing the patch, because he will take the clonidine is teeny tiny, and he'll just take it just like he does his guanfacine, which has to taste terrible. But he is really good about anything else we hand him, he would not take. But if it's a little white pill, he will take it. And I don't know, like if you hand him, a tiny piece of a cookie, nope, nope, nope. But you hand him a little white pill and he takes it. So that's terrifying. But also, I mean, I'm like, let's not take every pill we've ever handed you. But no, I would never give him something he couldn't take. So guanfacine in the morning, clonidine at night, and then we have been doing the leucovorin, which I know is kind of a like big thing that's being talked about. Some people have I've heard, of amazing stories with leucovorin. I don't know that I've seen tremendous results. Um, we started it. When did we start? August? Is that when I started it? I think it was August.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I just don't know that I have seen this just 180 like I hear people talk about. And we've been on it long enough now where I feel like we would have seen. Do I want to take him off of the leucovorin? No. Because I haven't seen anything bad from it. And really, it's a creates folic acid. So there's nothing that it's hurting. And I haven't seen any bad behaviors, but we are on that. So that's our like mixture right now. The leucovorin he gets twice a day, and it's just a teeny tiny white pill, and I don't know why he will chew it up, and he doesn't swallow them, but he'll put it in his mouth, chew it, kind of make a face like, ooh, that tasted gross, and then drink his water. And thank God he does. But it's our perfect concoction for now,
Yeah.
because it'll change.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. That's the other thing. It's like we could never settle in, because with anyone on medication, like with me, I'm on sertraline, and I'm on 50 milligrams. I have been for a year, and I'm about to up it because surprise, I'm crying more. I'm feeling more. I have more. So it's like I'm gonna have to up that, and then eventually I've been told that like you have to then like switch medications completely if you're still needing that support. So it's a ride for everyone who's on it, and it's even harder for our kids when they can't tell us like how they're feeling or whatever.
Yeah,
Um
because we actually, with the guanfacine, we tried to increase it to like twice a day and saw, a lot of aggression, a lot of just Channing not being Channing. So that was why then we tried the clonidine, but we have to give the clonidine like late at night, because if we do it earlier in the day, it makes him lethargic. So it really is such a up and down. And we've been doing this since he was 5, trying to figure out the dosage and the perfect scenario of how it works, which, we're
well,
still.
I have to say, like, you talking about medication and being so open about it, we have a episode where Lauren and I talk about medication, and at this time I was not ready to put I was ready to put Rob on it, but I didn't know what. I was nervous how to give it to him. Just all these things, like questions that I'm sure a lot of our listeners like ask themselves and feel as well before like making that decision. And so you being so open and talking about it with me one-on-one really helped me and gave me the confidence to try something, because at this point, 7-8 weeks ago, I knew it was time to support Rob with his behaviors. And what I was most nervous about was getting it into his system. And so he drinks this, the only like liquid, only anything of texture that we can hide something in is the kids like Orgain vanilla milkshake. And some days he wants it, some days he doesn't. But this was my only like hope to like hide a liquid in it. So we were able to talk to our doctor to send it to a compound pharmacist, and they called me like asking what I needed. And so they said they can't just have it flavorless because he can taste the medicine, I guess. But they could put a sweetener in it. So for 6 weeks, he was drinking his milk and he was taking it, and all was well. And then all of a sudden, he just started refusing his milk. So I remember I was talking to my friend Fiorella, who a lot of people probably follow her daughter, Emmy. She was telling me, and I know she would be okay with me sharing this because she's shared this before. She told me that she would crush the guanfacine pill in water, and Emmy would just drink it, like, and you couldn't really taste it. So I was like, okay, we've got to try that. So right before Thanksgiving, he had refused his milk for like 2 days, and we were seeing like the results of that happening. And so anyway, he has now taken it with water, no detection, for 4 days straight. And we do the same thing. We do 1 milligram in the morning, and I feel like that has really helped him just it's taken the edge off. And so I'm hoping that we continue to see that. And like you said, it's trial and error, and we never really have it figured out. But when we have a nice season of it, it's great. So
And we're definitely not ones that are saying medicate your kids. We have just found that, I mean, it's taken you a long time to get to this point, and it took us a while too before we really trusted that it was the right thing, because it's a big decision. And I hate saying that Channing's on 3 different medications, because it makes me feel like I'm trying to hide something, like trying to change him or anything, and it's really not. It's just what is helping him to be the happiest and the most regulated version of himself that we can possibly get to. And when he's not sleeping, everything is so bad, so the clonidine helps him to be able to sleep. And when he's not able to sit in the chair at school, he's so upset, and like the guanfacine helps him to be able to do that. So there's so many good things that we've found come from it, but we definitely are not professionals, and we are not saying medicate your kids. We're just telling our story of why we do, and what
yeah,
has
we're not
worked for us.
yeah, we're not doctors. And I'll just say this: if you have not been in the shoes of like our shoes of having to like really consider medication, then you have no idea. And believe us, like we tried, to not go that route. And as like you said, we're not trying to change them. We're just trying to help them feel good. It was so funny. So Rob got a knife. He got a knife and he stabbed my new couch,
Oh,
and I caught him doing it, and he was going, whoa, and he stabbed it. And I was like, okay, he's happy. That's a win. So like when he breaks something and he's happy, I don't care. It's whenever something is broken, when he's in a sensory overload, not feeling good, angry is what he'll describe it as. That's when I kind of my world stops. But when he's happy and he's breaking things, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like he's happy. and, and that is where I'm like, if you don't know what that's like, then you have no idea. You have no idea. And I promise you, before I had Rob, if I would have seen a child stabbing a couch with a knife, I would have been like, why aren't you disciplining him? Why aren't you blah, blah, blah? Nope. Not anymore.
And, my boy was acting out a scene. He was getting an Oscar. I can promise you that. Because my boy is an actor. Robbie is he is an actor. He is the trifecta. He is actor, producer, and director, because I've seen him do it all. And I bet you that scene was perfected.
It kind of was. And he videoed it. Remember that video I sent you? So I sent Lauren this video before, and I'm like, I can't like post these types of things because whatever, people are crazy out there. But he took us. Like,
I had no idea.
I was making a grilled cheese, and Rob was set up a camera, and he was like making faces and I was like, oh, so cute. So I went to go. I forget what I was getting, but the grilled cheese was on the grill, and we have a gas burner, and I come back and I see that the spatula is a little melted. I'm like, oh, that's weird, whatever. I had no idea any of this happened until 2 days later. I always go and like check Rob's videos. And this video shows him when I'm gone. He takes the spatula, he lights it on fire, he looks at it, and he goes, blows it out, and like walks away from the scene of the crime.
Spatula drop.
Anyway, so to circle back, that is that's why we choose to help our kids, is because we want to see them happily setting things on fire as opposed to feeling like they're on fire. Okay.
Amen.
Oh gosh. Well,
Amen.
this was fun catching up. We put a timer on ourselves this time so that we wouldn't ramble and go into all the things, because there is so much we want to catch y'all up on and just talk about. And we decided like setting a timer of like 30-40 minutes is good for us. But before we go, Lauren, we want to talk about Giving Tuesday, and that's when we post this episode, it is today. Today is Giving Tuesday.
Yes. So, Giving Tuesday, for those that don't know, it's a day that people are encouraged to give back. So, after Black Friday spending, Cyber Monday, all of the after Thanksgiving spending, Giving Tuesday, a time to give back to your favorite charity or organization or whatever it may be. And we hope it's Channing's Joy, because Tara has created a super cute something that we're going to be posting, and all of the proceeds will come to Channing's Joy. And then you can probably wear, I mean, yeah, it's something you can wear.
Maybe we've already posted it at this point. So we
Oh,
tell
we've
them
already posted it.
Yeah, tell them.
Okay, so the so cute oversized sweatshirt situation. I'll let Tara tell you all about the design and the sizing and stuff, but 100% of the proceeds will come back to Channing's Joy. And I am so close to being able to reopen my applications. My goal was to reopen them on Giving Tuesday, so today. Maybe if I stay up late tonight. Or tomorrow. Well, I'm confusing people on what the day is. But I'm really close to being able to reopen our applications. So the funds from the purchase of our Giving Tuesday collab will really help us be able to open those applications and continue to help hundreds of families. Tara,
Absolutely.
take it away.
And with our support of Black Friday sales, I know we'll be able to help, even without this collab, open up funds for Channing's Joy. But with this collab, or applications for Channing's Joy, but with this collab, we could open up even more spots, especially with the holiday season. Families really, really need support financially. And this is the whole reason why Lauren and I both started what we do all these years ago, is to help people, because that is the meaning of life. I've learned is to serve others. It's a beautiful thing when we all come together as a community and help one another, and it just makes us feel so empowered too, that we can like be the change. I'm so honored all the time to do these types of things with you. But now on to the fun part. So the sweatshirt is, of course, Carolina blue. Okay. And we're going to have
a Channing's Joy blue.
Channing's Joy. And we're going to have a butter yellow, very cute smiley that says inclusive vibes only smiley. And we are bringing back from the vault our collab from, I think, 2 years ago. So we're bringing it back. We're iterating on it, and it's cute. And it's going to be puff print.
So excited for a puff print.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be cute.
It's
really going to pop. And this will be like pre-order. No, sorry.
What? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, this is like pre-orders. So everyone will be able to get one when we have the window opened up. And the sizing, yes. So it's 2 sizes. They're oversized. So we're going to have a small medium, which fits like an XL. And once you wash it too, it'll give a little bit of, shrink, just a teeny bit. And so it really will sit and fit nice. And then the large XL is like a 2XL, 3XL if you're thinking about sizing. So can't wait.
We're excited. Thank you again for doing this and for always donating to us, Tara. And everybody that shopped with you is also ended up donating, so it's a cool little thing. I
It's
couldn't think of the word.
always my honor.
Cool
It
little
is
thing.
my honor, and the pleasure is all mine. So,
All right. Well, we are 10 minutes over our 30 minutes that we allotted each other, which is pretty good, if I do say so myself. And we will be back with another episode, but don't hold your breath. I'm just kidding.
no, next week.
Next week. Yes.
We don't know exactly what day, but it'll be next week.
Yeah,
We're back.
We're trying.
We're back, bitches.
We're back, baby.
Toodaloo.
You know the rest of that.
You know the rest. Bye.
Bye.